welcome and thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to just do a quick demo of AgentScript Builder and also work through a trailhead module, so I thought I would just record my experience as I do this, and hopefully this is helpful for you too. So the first module that I did was quick start to, so if you go to the Agent Blazer campaign 2026, we have this badge that is really good actually. So first I went through this quick start, assemble a service agent with Agentforce Builder. The good thing about this is you get a pre-configured org that comes with an Experience Cloud site, Coral Cloud. That was the same example when we used the legacy agent builder, and I had a long video on how to use that. And so that's legacy now. But if you go through this module, you get access to an org, and then you can basically start building your own agent. And like any other trailhead modules, it has pre-configured instructions and descriptions that you want to add. So with the agent, just like the old agent, you can actually describe the purpose here, and then it will walk you through and create a new agent for you as long as you follow all the instructions here. Let me just show you what it looks like in the end, essentially. So this is an agent that is going to help users get information about their upcoming trip or experience in that resort. So one of the examples that we have here is we're gonna do, can you let me know about underground cave exploration? So let's go to our agent. So in the new agent, actually, if I just open this up, the preview is over here. This is not the preview, this is the agent to build the agent. So if you go to preview, and I'll show the end result, and then we can talk about what we are doing. So can you let me know about underground cave exploration? First, it should ask me, sure, but I need your email address and phone number, membership number. So this is basically going to do a data lookup in the system and give me the information. So input, and it transitioned to the sub agent, which is basically topics. Now they're called sub agent, and then reasoning of why it chose that. And so if you want to see more details, you can expand that, and you can actually look through every section here. So it's just in a different place, and you can even expand this further and go to the code view, and that can show you everything that happened. So from the agent router is basically from the main agent that comes, and then it decides which sub agent to send it to. So that's the to agent, and then you can see how the transition looked like. Nothing much happened here, and that this is called small talk because it's asking the question. So experience management will look into that sub agent, but it has a prerequisite of needing that information. So we are going to just provide that, and now it should run the same experience management, but actually give me the information. So there is a get sessions, get customer details information. So that is what it is doing here. So it went back to experience management, that's the topic sub agent, and then ran the different get customer details and then get experience details, because those are the instructions it is we are asking to follow. So now let's take a look at what those instructions look like. So this is a very UI friendly editor where you can type, and you can also add mention and bring in the action. So first step is create a sub agent, and then add all the actions that you see yourself needing. So let's say if I wanted to add more action, it's very similar to legacy agent builder, nothing new there. So you just hit plus, and you either create a new action, and you can still use all of your different action types, or if you have an existing action, you can add from the asset library, and all of these existing actions that you may have created for legacy will still work here. So that's good news. And then once you go through adding all of your actions, then you come here to the instructions and basically type out. So if a customer would like to more information about activities and experience, you should run this experience details. So let me just, to show, I'm gonna remove this, and we're just gonna say at, and as soon as you type at, you'll see all the actions here, and you can look at the experience details action. So that's the experience details, and then summarize the results with improved readability. So in legacy agent builder, we'd have to do things like call this action and actually call the API name of that action to make sure it calls it. And then if the customer is not known, you must always ask for their email address and membership number by running the get customer details, and that's basically a flow. It is going and doing a data dip into Salesforce. That should be added in the permission set for the agent as well. Otherwise, this flow will fail. It's asked about the session, use this, and all these instructions. So that is how you can pair the instructions to the actions, but you still need to add actions here. So that's the key call out with the new agent builder. Now I am going to do this other exercise that is basically called programming instructions in Agentforce. Now don't let that scare you, even if you're not a programmer. We're just going to do it together, and there is no trailhead, there's no hands-on challenge on the badge, but I figured I might as well give it a shot and see what it looked like. So one of the key callouts and the benefits of the new Agentforce builder is that there is Agentforce determinism. So things that you always want to happen will happen if you use certain variables and conditional statements in the new agent builder. So let's see what that looks like. So in this scenario, we are looking at configuring our agent to store customers' lifetime value. That is just a field that already comes in this org. So if you want to follow along, please get access to that org and just follow along. So basically, Core Cloud Resort stores a customer lifetime value in a contact field called lifetime value. You are going to use that lifetime value to sort customers into platinum and gold tiers, so you can reward your best customers for their loyalty. So this is just a field that exists in the org, and we already have the customer details action here, and this is using the flow. So we're just going to open up that flow, and basically it's telling us to just add that field in the flow. And once we do that, we obviously need to make sure that the permission set has access to that field. Otherwise the flow will fail, like I said. And then we have to do some data mapping in the agent. So let's first add that. So we are going to get contact by email and member number. We're only storing name and ID. We're just going to add the lifetime value as well and save as a new version and assign contact. Let's just make sure. Okay, so the contact should have all the values that we just talked about. Yep, that's all we needed to do there. So I'm just going to activate that flow. And then we are going to find the user here. This is the user. So let's go to that user record. And this probably already has a permission set. So which permission set should we use? Service agent permissions. Okay, so go to the service agent permissions, and we're just going to assign that field under contact lifetime value. So we only need read access here. All right, so save that. That is done. Now in order to store that value, we are going to create a custom variable within our agent. So here there is a variable section, and if you open that up, you'll see that there are some out of the box variables that is present within the agent builder. We're just going to create a new variable. So we're going to create a custom variable, and we're going to call it lifetime value, exactly what it means. Data type is number, because that's a number, and let's add it a description. So the value of the lifetime from the contact record, that makes sense. Default value is 0, and that is pretty much it. We're going to just create this variable. So we're just creating the variable, did nothing here yet. Now, once the variable is created, how do we make sure that this value gets updated from the flow? So this is where we're going to have to switch to the script view, and we're going to look at the script as well to add that value. So let's go to our agent script in the script view. Since we're here, let's just look at the script to ensure that this is nothing scary, right? We can just click here in the system's agent definition, and it will take us there. So like if you wanted to jump directly into a particular subagent, you can just click on that subagent, and this should take you there. But if you want to start from the beginning, go to like agent details and then start there. So system, so it's, if you read this right, like web system and instructions, you are an AI agent, and this is the welcome message. This should be familiar from the UI, right? Like, and the error as well. And we can switch back to Canvas and see what that looks like. Language, variable, so this is the variable we just added, lifetime value. And then we have the start agent, agent router. So this is called the start agent in the background, and the name is agent router. Then there is subagent escalation, and inside the subagent you can see there's a label, description, and instructions. So if a user explicitly asks to transfer to a live agent, you must call this action to complete the escalation. And then after every subagent, typically there is an actions column because we need to pair the action to the subagent. So here we have actions, and this is the action name. So if we want to go to experience management, that should look like very similar. So subagent, experience management, label is this description. So this single line, this one means that multiple lines are starting after that. So this all belongs to that description. Then we have reasoning, and then inside reasoning, this also means that there are multiple lines. So this all belongs to that instructions. There is a documentation you can read about the syntax as well. And if you get stuck, you can always use the agent on the side to fix your syntax issues and whatnot. I'm gonna say this is not perfect, definitely not perfect, but maybe might be helpful in your use case. I always watch out for what this agent is adding though, because sometimes it does create a mess. So we have instructions that we just saw, right? If a customer would like more information, you should run this action. So the syntax is like this in the background. Here, if I wanted, I can just do this actions dot, and then I will still get those values right here without having to type all of that. So I'm just going to do Control Z. And then there are actions. These are the actions that I have. Those are from the flows. These are the action names first, and then the actions itself along with the output and everything. I am not quite sure why they have this 2 times, but from my understanding, it's just the pairing of the actions and then the action details itself at the bottom. But this is just how it looks like once you add it in the canvas. Okay, so what actually we're supposed to do is go to get customer details actions, and we can see there's an email, member name, number, and set variable. So this is where we need to add that value. So for our get customer details, this is where we are doing the pairing and the mapping. So these 3 dots mean that this is getting directly from the user input. So that's why it's dotted, because we are letting the LLM map those values. That is how our guest customer detail is working, because the person will type something and then the LLM is smart enough to extract the email and the member number. So that's why the dotted things mean that they are auto calculated by the AI engine. And then we're going to add the set variable. So this is just a syntax that is anytime you see set variables, set meaning you're setting the value, and we're doing variables dot lifetime value because that is our value. And then here we're now saying outputs because that is the output dot contact dot data dot lifetime value that is coming from our flow, because we have an output from the flow. Let's save that. And the reason we are able to do this is because our flow is a contact. So if let's just go back to the flow just to be sure. If we look here, we have a contact variable, and that is marked for available for output. And we can even do contact.email or contact.member ID, whatever. So in this case, we're not asking the user to provide the lifetime value. We are actually using our own flow. So once the person provides us the email and member number, we are doing the lookup and we are getting the value from the contact, which is why we're setting that value right here. We don't need the dot 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 here because we are gonna get that value from a flow. So that's how the mapping is done in any data. So remember, sets the values. So now your agent stores the customer lifetime value when it fetches the customer record. All right, so now we're gonna make sure our agent is able to find the right topic. Where we have the agent router instructions, we're saying select the best tool to call based on the conversation history and user's intent. And this module is telling us to find the topic selector by searching topic selector, which is now actually subagent, so I'm just gonna ignore that. But after the line where it says select the best tool, this UI is very fussy at times, so we have to be very careful in not breaking it. So we're gonna first copy this portion and then copy this portion, which I think it still doesn't look happy, so we'll fix that. I think we should add a tab here. Okay, maybe that does it. So now it's basically the same line. So if select the best tool, if the customer is providing their email and membership number, run this action. So we're telling it to run this action. And let's make sure there's no problem. So far so good. And we're just gonna save this. It is somewhat nerve-wracking because I've also had experience where the whole agent gets corrupted. So always have, just a side note, always have copies of your script either in VS Code or like just in a Word document somewhere, making sure that you have a copy, because there's a bug as well that sometimes breaks your script altogether. So now we're gonna switch back to Canvas, and as you can see, the run go to experience management looks like this. So we can also just make it so that it transitions to it, because sometimes it doesn't and just keeps having small talks. All right, that's pretty much it in this module. So let's do a preview, and I'm just gonna say that's my email, right? Let's see. So I'm just gonna refresh the context and say that. What's my lifetime value? There you go. So your lifetime value is 50,000 because it was able to get that information. One thing I'll show here is when you look at the variable sections, the variable sections will show you what the values was set. So before, when the started, it was 0, and then after the second question I asked, it turned into 50,000, and then so that shows you the progression of the value. So this is if you are creating a variable and if you're not seeing the intended result, go to variable and make sure that the value is getting set, because this is where you can see that. So you have to go to the variables tab, not the trace tab. And even in the trace tab you can actually see it, but you have to kind of dig through the JSON over here, or the text. Okay, so while it didn't do anything fancy, now we are able to establish how to get the variable, and now you can do other things with the variable. Maybe you decide that 50,000 is a good platinum or gold status, then you can let them do other things. For example, changing their experience that they booked, or based on their tier, they are able to change certain things and not change other things. So it just allows you more flexibility to do any follow-up actions based on the value. I'm just gonna do this on my own, and then